Thank you, Chair. This is pretty clear and simple, Minister, as far as I'm concerned. Irish people are proud of our history of neutrality and they don't want that to change. It offers Ireland a unique place and voice internationally. It allows us to serve as neutral peacekeepers in conflict. It reflects our history as a former colony that rejects wars of aggression and domination. Poll after poll shows Irish people want no change in our neutrality. As of last year, 2/3 of voters agree with keeping neutrality and the triple lock. The initial rejection of the Nice and Lisbon treaties were dominated by a fear that they would put Irish neutrality at risk from an expanded European military project. People don't want Irish men and women dying in foreign wars, and the triple lock is a fundamental pillar in stopping us from being dragged into them. There has been a decades-long push by successive governments to drag us closer and closer to US and NATO foreign policy. We see it in the shame that is the US use of Shannon Airport for their aggression. From now back to America's wars in the Middle East. This is just another step in removing our history of resisting colonialism and empire. Ireland doesn't want any part in American foreign policy. 1 million civilians died in their illegal war in Iraq, over 4.5 million dead, and 38 million people displaced in the Middle East after the carnage the US released after 9/11. This information is according to the Watson Institute of Brown University. The destruction of Libya, the terror raining down in Palestine over the past few weeks, American bombs falling indiscriminately from Pakistan to Yemen to Somalia. We don't want any part of it. This move away from the international consent of the UN and towards the US and NATO also ignores the state our defence forces have been left in by successive governments. There are long-standing problems with pay and condition for service members. There are shortages of staff and resources. A recent survey by the Representative Association of Commissioned Officers showed that more than a third of officers believe there should be industrial action on pay, and nearly half of young officers would leave without the remuneration issue being resolved. The General Secretary of that organisation said last year that 3 successive rounds of pay talks have seen our members marginalised and excluded. Our Navy can only keep 1 or 2 ships on patrol at any given time. Our defence forces are overstretched and underpaid and resourced. Our service members aren't even paid enough to carry out their duties now, let alone go to die in foreign wars. Ireland wants no part in foreign wars, we know that. There's an overwhelming majority in support of neutrality. The only way to protect that is by enshrining it in our constitution, and any changes to laws underlying our neutrality should be put to the people. I thank Sinn Féin for introducing this motion. I support it, and I support the People for Profit amendment.